Good morning. My name's Tom, and welcome aboard. This is Etihad Boeing 777-200 freighter, and we are EY901. We're going from Abu Dhabi to Frankfurt. It's a day flight, and First Officer Charles here is going to be flying us out. I'm going to be flying back tomorrow, so I'll let Charles just give you a quick overview of the planned flight.
Hi, good morning. Yes, I'm Charles, and I'll be flying you to Frankfurt today. The quick overview of what we'll be doing. So we're flying to Frankfurt at about 32,000 feet, and a bit of a different routing that we usually take today, which will be taking us from Abu Dhabi through Saudi Arabia into Cairo and on to Europe. Usually we go into the likes of Iraq, Iran, and into Turkey, so it's a little bit different for us today. Hopefully we get some clear skies where we can see some pretty beautiful scenery today. So that's pretty much about it. So what are the threats we can experience today on today's flight?
It's our home base, Abu Dhabi, so there's always the threat of complacency here. Today we're going out to 13 left, or expecting 13 left for departure, so it's a longer taxi routing. We're going out to the east, turning up to the northwest, so perhaps we won't fly the normal SID. Apart from that, it's a fairly standard operation today. Have you got anything?
Yeah, no, the other threats that we've discussed as well in the briefing room was the fact we're quite heavy today. It's quite a hot day, so our performance on takeoff, our tyre speeds, which we've seen are quite close to limitations, so yep, rotations will be quite positive on takeoff, and that's really about it as far as threats are concerned.
Okay.
As per the plan, our departure today will be off runway 13 left, 13 left.
13 left, yeah.
And the Boss of 1 Foxtrot departure, as you've had a look at in the FMC. Automation today on takeoff, we'll go onto the automation as soon as possible. And the initial climb altitude will be 4,000 feet.
Yep.
Apart from that, confirmation-wise?
Okay, so hot day in Abu Dhabi, we've got the tyre speeds, we've got 13 left, fairly long taxi out, positive departure, and yeah, fairly low initial stop altitude, but not expecting to fly the full SID, probably a clearance up to transition, I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah. And
then if you want to brief the emergency procedures now, we can do that too.
Okay, yep, so this will be a right seat departure, runway 13 left. Any failure below V1, I'll call stop or continue. The call is stop, I will close the thrust levers and disconnect the auto throttle. I'll monitor or apply maximum braking, raise the thrust levers to the interlock, verify the speed brake is up, and use full reverse thrust. We'll bring the aircraft to a stop on the runway. I'll set the parking brake, and on the PA I'll say, this is the captain, attention crew at stations, twice. Your actions.
My actions will be to monitor your actions. Pulling out the emissions, pulling speed brake up, no speed brake, no reverse left, no reverse right, and water brake, and 6 starts. Once you come to a stop and contact the cabin, I'll contact ATC, we'll look at the ICAS message and confirm the malfunction.
Yep.
Memory items.
Okay.
If the call is to continue, no actions below 400 feet except positive climb gear up. At 200 feet, autopilot will be available. At 400 feet, we confirm the malfunction, or we do the memory items. At 800 feet, we start our cleanup until flaps are up. If we're in an engine out situation, we can confirm that we're in continuous thrust. Otherwise, we continue our climb to 4,000 feet, enter the hold, troubleshoot, ask for radar vectors if we need to, conduct the overweight landing checklist as required as we are overweight today, or consider jettisoning fuel.
Okay.
And that's it.
So with about 300 tons for takeoff, 260, 40 tons, 80 divided by 3, about 25 minutes of fuel jettison time.
Yep.
Otherwise, yeah, we'll do the overweight landing checklist.
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Yeah, briefing complete.
All right, let's have a look at the pre-flight checklist.
So the pre-flight checklist says fire OV test, push and held. Gear pins.
Removed and stowed.
Stowed. Oxygen.
Tested 100%.
Tested 100%. Flight instruments.
Heading 215 and altimeter 1000 with 80 feet.
Heading 215, 1000 is set. Briefings.
Completed.
The pre-flight checklist complete.
Thank you.
All right, so as far as the flight is concerned today we are parked at stand 218, which is in the southwestern part of the Abu Dhabi airport. So you can see 208, which is over here. The taxi routing we can expect today will be pushing back on this apron 2, taxiing out via what we call Echo 13. and onto taxiway Echo. We'll then be crossing the first runway, which is runway 13 right, and then crossing over to the opposite runway on the other end of the airfield. So that's... We'll be again taxiing up here, out towards taxiway Alpha 1 for runway 13 left. As far as the routing goes today, out from Abu Dhabi, tracking through Bahrain in towards Saudi Arabia, and then from Saudi Arabia through Jordan and into Cairo. From Cairo we then head north and on towards Europe, eventually through Germany as we enter into Frankfurt. Okay, that's the routing that we'll be doing today. Starting off at 32,000 feet, and as we burn a little bit more fuel, we'll be able to climb the aircraft higher as we continue the flight. Okay, that's that. Are you happy with everything that you've seen in the FMC?
Just need to check the SID. Okay, yeah, the route is checked, FMC is checked, and you've got Alpha Delta Victor for the engine out. We've got a load sheet.
Okay.
So we can go through the performance. So Abu Dhabi Frankfurt's checked, 901 Delta Echo, got 4 and 2, and the date is correct. So the final zero fuel weight is 238.9.
238.9 is checked. So your takeoff weight will be approximately 301.5.
Yeah, we've got 3011.
Okay. Okay, so base off Abu Dhabi runway 13 left, full, dry. Wind is 160 at 14 knots, 40 degrees. QNH 1000.
Yep.
Optimum auto, first alternate. Engine wing auto optimum. Based on 301.7.
Yep.
So the figures that I've got are flaps 5. Acceleration height is 800 feet. TO1, 44 degrees. V1 176, VR 181, V2 181.
That's confirmed. Yep. Okay, you can put those figures in.
Okay, so we are on TO1, 44.
Check.
ATC clearance.
Okay.
I'll just put in the...
So we're cleared to Frankfurt, 13 left, 4,000 feet checked. Boston 1 Foxtrot is checked.
Checked.
Squawk 3417, that is set.
Checked.
1251.
And 1244 airborne.
QNH 1000, yep, accept.
Clearance confirmed and received.
All right.
All right.
Pretty much ready, aren't we?
Ready to go, yeah.
Okay, full start checks to the beacon.
Okay, before start checklist. Supernumerary signs are on. MCP.
KV2 181, heading 126, altitude 4000.
Checked. Takeoff speeds.
V1 176, VR 181, V2 181.
Checked. CD pre-flights.
Completed.
Trim.
We've got 4.25 units, 0 set.
Checked. Holding at the beacon.
Okay, let's talk to ATC.
Abu Dhabi delivery. G'day, Etihad 901.
Etihad 901, ground, good morning.
Good morning, Etihad 901, stand 208, clearance on PDC, fully ready.
Etihad 901, pushback and start approved, face east, the QNH 1000.
On QNH 1000, cleared to push and start facing east, Etihad 901.
Okay, beacon on.
Before start checklist is complete.
Checklist complete. Flight deck ground.
Yes, Captain.
Okay, we're clear to push and start facing east.
Okay, Captain, pushback approved facing east, you can release the parking brake.
1675, bye-bye.
Brakes release time 30.
Okay, Captain, noted.
So we've got the fuel low center warning here. Just going to put the fuel up. 3.6 fuel low center. Check.
Doors auto, thanks Ali. Now go ahead.
Yes, Captain. Clear to start engines.
Thank you. We'll start 1 then 2.
Okay, Captain. Clear.
Start right engine.
Okay, start right.
Start left engine.
Okay, Captain. Clear.
Start left.
You want to fly deck?
Go ahead.
Captain, pushback completed. You can set the parking brakes on.
Parking brake set.
Okay, Captain.
AP off. Flaps 5.
You're clear to disconnect. We'll hold position. We'll see you on the right hand side with the pin. Thank you.
Okay, Captain. Signal from the right hand side. Have a pleasant flight.
Thanks. Goodbye. Okay, we'll start the control checks.
Okay.
Okay, you can see the engineer, rudder check. Full left. Neutral. All right.
Checked. I see the pin.
Okay. Full taxi checklist.
Okay, before taxi checklist, anti-ice is auto, recall is checked, flight controls
Checked.
checked, and ground equipment
All clear left.
clear right. Before taxi checklist is complete.
Thank you.
Ready for taxi?
AFA.
One request taxi.
Etihad 901, Echo 14, hold short runway 13 right.
Echo 14, hold short runway 13 right. Etihad 901.
Straight ahead. Straight
ahead.
left. Hold short.
He did say to hold short runway 13 right.
Check. Yep, hold short the runway.
Okay, first left, Echo 14.
Check. Lights on, please. Okay, straight ahead and
Clear
hold
right,
short.
straight ahead,
1,
check.
3 right.
Checked.
And Delta, hold short of hotel.
Cross runway 13 right at Echo 14, Delta Hotel, Etihad 901.
Okay, clear to cross.
Clear right.
Clear left. And left onto Delta.
Left onto Delta, hold short hotel. Checked.
Okay, next left.
So it's clear right. Strobe light off.
Check. Okay, chips. Takeoff confirmation.
No changes to the takeoff briefing.
All right. Let's do the before takeoff checklist.
Okay, I'll seat everybody then here. Okay, briefing is confirmed. Cabin occupants are seated before takeoff checklist is complete.
Checklist complete. Parking brakes set.
Checked.
Etihad 901 behind the landing traffic on show final, line up runway 13 left behind via Alpha 2.
Final landing traffic, runway 13 left, line up and wait behind Alpha 2, Etihad 901.
Okay, clear the traffic. I'll wait. Take terrain on my side.
Checked.
Stop bars off. Approach is clear.
Approaching 13 left.
Runway TDV2 vacated all maneuvering area, thank you.
Thank you. Falcon 102, vacate Alpha 11, taxi Alpha, Hotel, hold short of Mike.
Alpha 11, Alpha, Hotel, hold short of Mike, 102.
Checked.
Okay, you have the brakes.
I have the brakes.
You have control.
I have control.
Your thrust.
Etihad 901, wind 180 degrees, 15 knots, runway 13 left, clear for takeoff, bye-bye.
Okay, take off runway 13 left, Etihad 901.
Okay, take off. Okay. Take off.
Falcon 102, contact Abu Dhabi Tower.
Thrust ref.
Check. My thrust. Thrust set. $80 knots.
Hold.
Rotates. Positive climb.
Gear up.
Gear up.
On nav.
Check.
Thrust ref, VNAV speed.
Thrust ref, VNAV speed. Abu Dhabi, hello Etihad 901, we're passing 1,000 feet.
901, Abu Dhabi, radar, good morning, radar contact, climb unrestricted, flight level 150.
Unrestricted, climb flight level 150, Etihad 901.
Set 150.
150 set.
Checked.
Climb direct.
Yes, please. Flaps 1.
Speed check, flaps 1.
Flaps up.
Speed check, flaps up.
Flight 51, descent altitude 2,500 feet. Descent 2,500 feet, yes, forward. At 901, cancel SID, turn left heading 020.
Left heading 020, Etihad 901.
Setting 020.
Turning left.
Cell.
020 set.
Checked.
Jump 316 speed 180 till 8, 160 till 4. 180 till 8 and 160 till 4, that's 316. Jump 316 down, left heading 160, clear dials approach 13 left to port, establish.
I'll take off checks.
Establish on 3 left heading 316.
Just add a few knots for you.
Yes, please. Yes.
255.
Checked.
Thai 901, turn left heading 310.
Left heading 310 degrees, Etihad 901.
Setting 310 degrees.
310 set.
Checked.
Inside 51, speed 180 till 8, 160 till 4. 180 to 8, 160 to 4, yes, Taiwan. Establish 160 left heading 316. Jim 316, thank you sir, tower, north 118, this was 675, this Salama. 675, Allah have about it. Had 901, turn left to 01, navigation direct positive.
Left direct to Bossive, Etihad 901, thank you.
It's a positive.
Okay, I'm going to bring Bossive to the top.
Direct 2.
Bossive,
Confirmed. Execute.
execute.
I'll nav. I'll nav.
SL51, turn left heading 220 base. Left heading 220, yes, 51.
Autopilot.
Autopilot check. runway 13 left, Etihad 90.
Take off. Thrust right.
Check. Right thrust. Thrust set. 320 is good. Good, this is 9, Etihad 901, good day.
Initial climb flight level 170 and clear via the mic 557. Cargo 5977.
39 now,
Cargo
57.
7977, confirm, requested flight level. Requesting flight level 320, cargo 7977.
Speed back up now.
Yeah, FMC
Cargo
speeds.
7977, continue climb level 320. Flight level 320, thank you, cargo 7977. Climb flight level 150.
Enjoy your weather.
Thanks.
You control her, Etihad 9001, flight level 150 to Los Angeles.
Zone 825, contact Boeing control on 132.12, good day.
132.12, good day, Zone 825.
Calibre 7 Golf Echo, you control? We're going to need less deviation. We're heading 260 degrees, so approximately 100 miles off the position 2 Mach to avoid weather, otherwise the right will take us into turn. And that will be after 2 Mach? Yeah, from position 2 Mach we're going to need a couple less disabled. Sure. Turkish 4 Victor Romeo, climb flight level 150. Turkish 4 Victor Romeo, control get identified, climb flight level 200, clear Mike 557. Climb flight level 200 and clear stage and point? No point, only airway, Mike 557. 40 man.
Fury Etihad 901.
Mike 557. Airway Mike 557, 34 Victor Romeo. Etihad 901, identified, climb flight level 220.
Flight flight level 220, Etihad 901.
Flight level 220 is out.
TDC 2427, passing 11,000.
Copy, can we reduce a bit speed because we have turbulence?
At 51, Roger, speed 160 knots or less.
160, yes, 51.
Etihad 901, identified, climb flight level 220.
Flight flight level 220, Etihad 901.
Flight level 220 is out.
TDC 2427, passing 11,000, climbing flight level 150. Stand by, we'll call you back.
Yes, 13212, bye-bye, cargo 7977.
3563, I appreciate your help with the level. Contact Boeing control on 132.12, thank you.
Of course, sir, to Bahrain 13212, Saudi 563.
Etihad 901 for continuous climb. Contact Boeing control on 132.85, thank you.
132.85, Etihad 901, thanks.
Control Emirates.
So 1,000 to go.
Checks.
Bahrain, good day, Etihad 901, we're passing 270, climbing 280 towards Alpha.
Etihad 901, Bahrain, good day to radar contact. Climb to flight level 280, Alpha, Lima 768 to Yalata.
Flight flight level 280 to Alpha, and then Lima 768 to Yulada, Etihad 901 will be requesting left of track Yuela.
Etihad 901, thanks. After Alpha, deviation left of track approved.
After Alpha, left of track approved. Etihad 901, thanks.
Etihad 11 Bravo,
okay.
contact Bahrain 122.3.
20 as
223 Etihad 11 Bravo.
Checks.
Bahrain Zurich 784, we are on a heading now 023 and we still can't find weather over Ragasa. Could we still maintain this heading with Tehran according to your coordination, sir?
Hey sir, no problem. You are able to freely avoid weather and contact Tehran control now on 133.4. Good day to you.
334 Zurich 784, have a good day. Thanks for your help.
20.
Etihad 901, what heading are you requiring?
It's okay, we can go up to 20 miles left of track, Etihad 901.
Okay, 20 miles left is approved.
Thank you.
Roger. Okay, we'll set heading 280 to begin with.
Check.
Okay, it looks like there's a pretty decent cell between Altum and Almach. Would we be able to get Gitbo, direct Gitbo from our present position?
Can you make it to Alvin and then to Gitbo?
Hey, firm, we can do Alvin direct Gitbo.
Just going to go further left.
270.
270.
Routing to Alvin and then Gitbo.
Alvin, Gitbo 230, Moose 73, thank you.
Moose 73, confirm single ship.
Single ship RBSM, Moose 73.
Thank you. Confirm Etihad 901.
Hey, firm, 901 heading 270 to parallel 20 miles left. When can we expect further climb?
I'll come back to you on that. With so much deviation, I've got to see what levels are available.
Etihad 901, that's it.
All right, so let's put it in the cruise for the time being, shall we?
Yeah, let's do that.
280 set.
Check.
Execute.
Etihad 901. Climb to flight level 320 and advise before any right turn.
Climb flight level 320 and we'll advise before any right turn if you have 901.
Okay, flight level 320 set.
Check.
That's thrust ref VNAV speeds.
Thrust ref VNAV speed.
Bandage 51, what is your flight level on the crest?
Speed VNAV 5.
Bandage 51, 210. Thank you, Bandage 51, climb to flight level 210. Climb 210, Bandage 51.
Okay.
Etihad 901, contact Bahrain 122.3.
122.3, Etihad 901.
Golf Echo, we're on the heading 280 degrees, avoiding weather. We can turn right, Bravo Hotel Romeo, in the next 5 miles, maintaining 320. Goodbye 7, Golf Echo, Bahrain, good morning, get inside, route direct to Bravo Hotel Romeo, and then Tokma, Tango, Oscar Kilo Mike Alpha, to join flight en route Lima 602 Davos.
I'll just tell her we're on a heading.
Bahrain, and then position of Tokma, and then we pick up the flight plan route to Davos, Etihad 11 Bravo, contact Jeddah 13325.
3325 Etihad 1 Bravo.
Air Canada 59, Bahrain 1267 for a climb, bye-bye.
1267 Air Canada 59, bye-bye.
Etihad 901, hello, we're flight level 320 on heading 270 degrees.
Etihad 901, good morning, get inside 320, and let me know when you're able to take direct to Yulada.
Okay, we'll call you back when we're clear direct to Yulada, Etihad 901.
Long way away, but if you were to go...
Atari 1236.
It's going to be some time, is it another 50 miles or so?
Yep, agreed.
First time I've seen weather like this over Bahrain for a long time. Yeah.
It's a heck of a cell, that.
Yeah.
We've got traffic now, 3 o'clock, 2,000 below.
Check.
We can accept a right turn to Yulada.
Route direct to Yulada, Etihad 901.
Direct to Yulada, Etihad 901.
Okay, direct to Yulada. Altitude of the beams confirmed.
Check.
Executes.
LNAV available.
LNAV.
Etihad 901, request heading 300.
Etihad 901, heading 300 is approved. Do you have a track direct to Jubail, Juliet Bravo Lima?
Yeah, we can do that.
Juliet Bravo Lima, yeah, that'd be good. Etihad 901, thank you.
901, thanks, track direct to
Jeddah good day, Etihad 901, flight level 320 to Juliet Bravo Lima.
Etihad 901, have identified, continue 320, offer copy 1344.
Over copy 134.4, Etihad 901.
1344, over copy.
Checked. So also, Riyadh, 090 at 2 knots, 10 k's viz, Fiat 4000, tempo 5000, thunderstorms and rain.
Okay.
So, going to the normal cruise briefing. Okay, threat-based debrief, anything to discuss on departure?
No, as we thought, we took the SID initially and then there was a left turn, wasn't it? Yep. So we saved a few track miles there, but no, nothing really. Nothing apart from that.
Cool. Aircraft status, no change since departure. And nothing on the MEL affecting our cruise. En route alternates, so as we just discussed the weather for Bahrain, Kuwait, and for Riyadh.
Yeah.
Contingency procedures in the Middle East, 90 degrees left or right, up to 25 nautical miles. Descent strategy, as company policy, obstacle clearance. However, on the engine outs, we go down to level 180.
Okay. Yep.
Time required to jettison fuel. Well, so look at what our current weight is at the moment, 292.6, so it's 30 tons or so.
20 minutes.
20 minutes, yeah?
Yep.
Overweight landing implications, so we currently are sitting overweight. If we were to make an immediate diversion, that might be one of our considerations, especially to Bahrain.
Okay.
Fuel requirements at the moment, landing into Frankfurt with 10.8 tons, lost a little bit due to the diversion. And route 2 currently, there's a copy of the active.
Okay.
Time is 0733, so the next wind uplink will be done at 1000.
All right. Yep.
Cruise briefing done.
Okay, so we've got Daman, haven't we, off to the left as well. We're with Jeddah ATC at the moment, so nice long runway.
Check.
We'll always go there. All right, sounds good.
Okay, so we're cruising now at 32,000 feet, and we'll just run through what we did on our departure, the standard instrument departure that we flew, and so on. So we've got our Jeppesen charts here, and if we go to our taxi charts, we took off on runway 13 left out of Abu Dhabi, and the departure that we did today was what they call the Boss of 1 Foxtrot. So I just pulled that out for you here. Let's get the right one. So here we are in Abu Dhabi. All right. So the departure that we did today was the Boss of 1 Foxtrot. So we took off runway 13 left, out on a heading straight ahead, and the initial departure shows that we would climb slightly to the north and eventually head up and around to the east. ATC today gave us an early turn, so we turned quite early out of our departure and started tracking out towards. So we head out towards Bosov, and at the moment, if I go to the information here, we're at position Etihad. So we're sitting over Bahrain airspace at the moment, and heading in towards Saudi Arabia. So that's where we're currently sitting at the moment. I had to deviate a little bit around weather initially beforehand, so we're back en route now though, and all good.
Okay, so now we're established in the cruise. We have a little bit more time. I can show you a few basics around the flight deck of the 777. It's a -200 series, pretty much common flight deck through all the 777 variants. This obviously is the freighter, slightly shorter body, and we have a slightly lower maximum takeoff weight, but we have a slightly higher zero fuel weight than the passenger versions. Flight deck, as I mentioned, is very much the same. Fairly standard Boeing presentation. We've got the 5 screens and the one screen below. So you've got your navigation display, your primary flight display. Everything is kind of grouped based on the traditional instrumentation, Boeing instrumentation. You've got your speed tape here, altitude indicator here. We've got a little small compass rose here, just helps you in turns. Altitude display here and your vertical speed indicator. And then the main navigation display obviously is showing our current routing, and the magenta line is your LNAV track. Currently routing direct towards copy. You can see there's a little green circle around there at the moment. That's a reporting point for our next frequency. Obviously we can adjust the range, which shows further down route. That shows us all the way through into Saudi towards the Egyptian border. In flight we tend to keep the range fairly small. It gives us a more accurate picture of weather. There's a standby instrument here. Obviously most airliners have lots of redundancy, so we're really using that as a last resort. We're checking it as well, making sure all the indications are the same. And then you've got your engine instruments in the middle. You can bring up the secondary page, which just shows all the parameters for the engine. We show these on engine start, but normally in flights we'd leave that blank. And also, if there's any non-normals occur, then the page will pop up and show us any parameters which aren't as they should be. We can bring up, on this lower display, we can bring up any other synoptics, they're called, which just show you the various systems of the aircraft. We use this control panel here, or select panel, to bring the different pages up. That shows you the hydraulics, and we can just scroll through the electrical systems, the hydraulics, the fuel, and you've got air in there, so we can monitor the temperatures in the cargo compartments. Obviously that's one of the main differences between the passenger aircraft and the freighter. Depends on the load you have, but sometimes the load master will ask for specific temperatures to be set. If it's fresh goods or flowers or sometimes livestock, we need to control the temperature. Obviously less doors on the freighter, but any open doors are shown on this synoptic. We've got the gear here. This shows you brake temperatures and tyre pressures. Finally, we've got flight controls there. So that's synoptics are really just useful for us. They're not required at any phase of flight, but they're just there to kind of aid our situational awareness. Obviously, across the rest of the cockpit, you've got the gears, you've got the auto brake selector, 2 FMCs and a backup in the center. We use these cursor control devices to well, we can use them for the EFB, and we can also use them in the center display panel. So for example, if we select the COM function, I can either have control of this device, or Charles, we can speak to the company through text messages like this, or get some weather, send and receive messages. That would be a simple way just to request some en route weather. Okay, coming up to the glare shield. This is the mode control panel, which is your main way of controlling the autopilot. All the modes are there, and basically any selections you make here will be reflected in the primary flight display, mainly these flight mode enunciators. So you can see we have LNAV selected, which is reflected here, and VNAV. VNAV is in path. This is the throttle quadrant, the pitch trim, the speed brake. Thrust reversers are just behind here, and then the flap quadrant is here. For today's takeoff, we use flap 5. That's a fairly standard flap setting. Sometimes flaps 15, and very occasionally flaps 20 for takeoff. For landing today, we'll be using either flaps 30 or flaps 25. Standard would be flaps 25. If you're heavy, if the runway's wet, etc., we'd use flaps 30. Down on the center pedestal here, we got the com panels. This is the left com panel, the right, and the center. At the moment, I'm monitoring, or I'm broadcasting on com 1. This is our active frequency. This is our standby frequency. Charles has just checked in with Jeddah control on 1344. I'm monitoring on the right box, and the active frequency on the right box 1215, which is our guard frequency. As mentioned, we got a backup FMC on this side. This is our rudder trim. And then coming to the overhead panel, again, fairly standard Boeing presentation. You've got all electrical control, hydraulics, all your lights across the bottom, and the fuel panel here. At the moment we're using the pumps in the left and right main tanks from the wings, basically. Our center tank fuel has been used for this flight. And then over to the right hand side we've got the air conditioning panels. This is where you would select your temperatures for the cargo compartments. And then the bottom, the bleed air switches. Once you're in flight, you don't tend to make many selections on the overhead panel. It's pretty much configured for flight. And then right above your head, you've got the circuit breakers. Again, something you'd have a quick check over when you get on board. And once you're in flight, we don't touch those circuit breakers. There's two jump seats on this aircraft. It's quite a decent, spacious flight deck. The 777. Quite a good bit of side room at the side compared to some other aircraft. And then on this side, we've got the EFB, Class 1 EFB. We have a lot of our functions available. We can look at the airport map for our departure destination. We calculate our performance on here. We do have a company device like an iPad which we use as well as a backup. We also have our chart clip available here. This is showing our departures. Now we're en route. I'll start to add some en route alternates here. Get the weather and check the runways available from our NOTAMs as well. We've got an en route function here. I think Charles is building up the route.
I have actually built it up and I've sent it to you, so you can actually load it on yours now.
So it's asking me if I want to receive the route from the other side. So Charles has kindly built up the route. If I accept that, it loads the route that he's built, and then it'll show the overlay of the routing on the chart, which moves as we go. All sols checked. Okay, so now I've got the route here. I'll just select the day mode, and you can see is the Arabian Gulf here. This is where we departed. It's showing Airways at the moment. I can deselect that just to make it a little clearer. There's Doha and Bahrain, and as you can see at the moment, we're inside the Saudi FIR, tracking towards the Gulf of Aqaba here, Egypt, and then up into the Mediterranean. Other controls in the flight deck. This is the tiller we use to steer the aircraft on the ground, along with the rudder pedals that give you a little bit of nose wheel steering. That's it, really. That's about it. We've got one openable window or two windows on the flight deck. I know some modern aircraft like the 787, the windows don't open, do they? Yeah.
So this is Saudi, this is Jordan, this is Israel, this is Egypt, so that's Sharm el-Sheikh. You see the current governor of Sharm el-Sheikh. And that's the famous What is this? Is this the moment?
There, this is Skyway 158.
And everything, yeah. So I started back in 2003 after graduating from high school in Australia, and went straight into my commercial pilot training courses. Included an advanced diploma in aviation. And yeah, did that for a few years, got my commercial pilot license, and once I completed that, I became a flying instructor in general aviation, flying Cessnas and Pipers and all those type of aircraft around. Did some aerobatics as well in that time, and I got to fly an aeroplane known as the de Havilland Tiger Moth, an old biplane. And then after that went into the bush in Western Australia, did a bit of charter flying for a while, and after that finally got a job as an airline pilot with Tiger Airways in Singapore on the Airbus 320s. That was a lot of fun flying in in Southeast Asia. And then in 2014 I joined Etihad on the A330s, just a brief stint on that before going on to the A380 for a while, for 4 years, and then in 2019 I joined on the Boeing 777. So that's been my flying career so far.
I think my story's a little bit shorter than yours. Not so many places. Okay, you had the radio?
I'm radio.
So I had a different career before flying, so always wanted to fly, but I went through a different path. And then about 2004 I started flight training, took the plunge, and finished flight training at Oxford in 2006, and I was lucky enough to get a job with Jet2 at the end of 2006, starting on the 757 from Manchester. I spent 6 years in the UK flying. The routes were around the Mediterranean, down to the Canaries, Turkey, sometimes into the Middle East, and then applied to Etihad in 2011. I think started with Etihad 2012 on the 777 passenger fleet, and then moved on to the 787 with a dual rating, and then upgraded to captain in 2017. Came back onto the 777, again onto the 787, and then in 2020 moved onto the cargo fleet with Etihad. So I've been lucky to fly Boeing 757, 777 and the 787. About 16 years flying now.
Looks so small from here, but when you're there it's
Tango 150 morning, radar contact, continue climb flight level 300, go ahead final correction, flight level 320, go ahead final level request.
Yeah. It's so like neatly aligned.
Repeat direct contact. Change 4911, contact at me 127.75.
Oh, it's nice to hear that.
Change 4911. Thank you for 17975, sorry, 641, contact me to 124, that's not true. Etihad -01, complete direct contact.
So, been asked to explain a little bit, give you a little bit of explanation about the 777 and specifically the freighter. So, obviously this type is the dedicated freighter built as a freighter with the large door, the large loading door. It's a very efficient aeroplane for its size. It can carry a maximum payload of around 105 tons. Typically the fuel burn on a 777 in flight is around between 7 and 8 tons per hour. So for this size of aircraft, the maximum takeoff weight around about 340 tons. It's a good aeroplane, it's a quite efficient aeroplane. Being a twin engine aeroplane as well, it's relatively low fuel burn compared to, say, the previous generation, say the 747-400. And as we were discussing earlier, the 777-300ER is starting to be retired from some passenger services around the world, and in fact Etihad Engineering on the ground in Abu Dhabi, they have they're building a facility, aren't they, to convert the 300ERs into dedicated freight aircraft. A little bit extra range in an ER, and I'm not exactly sure what the payload will be, but you know, as the 747 freighters become older, I think the retired passenger 777-300s will be converted, and I think the future for this aircraft is probably more and more as a freighter. I'm not exactly sure on the fuel burn, but I believe a 747-400 is around 11 tons, 12 tons per hour in flight, with a payload of around about 120 tons. The 747's been an amazing aircraft and done a lot of service, but I think as time goes on, the 777 will start to take over from that. What's the fuel load? Maximum fuel uplift is about 120 tons, isn't it, on this? So, you know, maximum endurance of this aircraft is about 10 hours, 10 to 11 hours of flying time. which gives us a range from the Middle East, from Abu Dhabi. We can go into the east coast of the US, or deep into China, towards Australia.
Right, so previously we've been talking about some of the different synoptic charts and so on of the aircraft that show the different systems, and we've been looking at how the aircraft works as a freighter compared to as a passenger aircraft. As you know, the 777 comes in two different variants. So one of the differences about the freighter compared to a passenger airplane is that we're not carrying a whole lot of passengers, so the oxygen requirements are not the same. So if you had a depressurization at this altitude, your goal wouldn't be to get down as soon as possible, get your passengers on oxygen and so on. It would be to suppress the fire. So if we had a fire, let's say in the main deck of the aircraft, our biggest priority would be to suppress that fire. So in order to do that, to starve the aircraft, we would maintain an altitude, let's say, of 25,000 feet initially, and only start our descent towards an airport when we're within about 60 nautical miles. That's as per what we have as a procedure. So you stay at 25,000 feet as long as you can, keep the oxygen out of the main deck so that you suppress that fire as long as possible. So that's one of the big differences between the freighter and the passenger 777s. Yeah.
Control.
You have control.
And we'll just go through the briefing.
Yep,
the approach briefing. Yeah.
So approach briefing. What are some of the threats we can expect in Frankfurt today?
Okay, so I've got a low transition. Transition's about 50.
Yep.
So it's fairly low. It's a long RNAV star. Standby.
2.6 Etihad 941.
Elementary 2, descent flight level 240. Yeah, 240, 732.
Radar Etihad 901, flight level 340 to Apollo.
Etihad 901, that was identified.
All right. Yeah, it's a fairly long RNAV star, which we may not fly the whole star. So track shortening, probably radar vectors. As you say, you've done the whole lot, but it could be short. We've got 25 left and 25 right on the ATIS, so we're planned for 25 left, but we just have to have contingency for 25 right.
Yep.
And maybe the clearance will be, if it's descend via, then we keep all the altitudes in the FMC.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure you've got some other points here.
Yep, no, I agree. So things to mitigate, for example, our track shortening is to just be mindful of our distance from the runway, and being conservative is probably our best option.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think that's about it. You mentioned pretty much all the threats that we have today going into Frankfurt. I don't see anything else.
If we land on 25 right, then taxiing is going to be a lot a longer taxi, unfamiliar perhaps, but from 25 left, relatively short taxi.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, and that can if we land on 25 right, long taxi can lead to taxiway incursions and so on. So when we're on the ground, we just mitigate that by constantly being on the check. And if we're unsure, we stop and we confirm.
Okay. The other thing perhaps to mention is it's quite a warm day, 27, 28 degrees in Frankfurt. We're pretty heavy, landing around 250 tons.
Yep.
So I can see you've set up for flight 30, but fairly high speeds and brake temperatures, but we'll cover that in the performance.
Yep. You also talked about low transition altitude, so that can lead us to sometimes forgetting about the approach checklist, so we make sure that we've completed all these checklists.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so that's the threats that have been discussed and how to mitigate them. The plan is to land into Frankfurt's runway 25 left ILS approach. The ILS approach will have us from Ledkey onto a decision altitude of 562.
Okay, yeah, got 5 to 62.
And a missed approach altitude of 5,000 feet.
Understood.
Following the missed approach procedure that's in the FMC. On landing, on runway 25 left, expect to vacate around about Romeo 13.
Yep.
And then right Romeo. Depending on the stand that we give them, as we get closer, maybe we'll talk to the ground operations to see if we can get the stand.
Yeah,
but generally, it's around about the Sierra 11, Sierra 16 to the 600 stands or 500 stands, right?
Okay.
We're expecting to do the forward to Bravo arrival for runway 25 left.
Check.
Forward, we've talked about flight level 240, Etihad 185, serve between 145, 135 and Spessa 110. Coming around to the right to Delta Foxtrot 616, we can expect radar vectors then to join the ILS approach.
Okay.
And yeah.
And that's perhaps where we might expect some track shortening.
Yeah, we might expect some track shortening along there. On landing, I've set up for auto brake 3.
Okay.
And max reverse, given that, as you said before, it's quite a warm day. Our performance requires flaps 30 due to the higher approach speed. And after looking at our landing performance, the best option then is to take the full reverse.
Yep.
Right, this gives a little bit of pressure off the brake temperatures.
Yep, some temperature out of the brakes, yeah.
Okay, anything else to add?
Okay, on landing, they normally tell us which side to vacate, but we expect it to vacate to the left, and fairly short taxi, but we can do single engine taxi with time permitting. Just a quick look at the fuel. We got 10.1 landing fuel at the moment. I think it's 8 point. The planned arrival fuel is, let's just check.
Let's have a look. .6. So at the moment, obviously we've still got the contingency fuel, and then the fuel required 8 tons, so roughly 2 tons. So we're comfortable for fuel, and about 35 minutes of fuel before we have to consider. Given that, as well, as we get closer to the run to Frankfurt, we can look again at the weather and maybe commit to land, or commit to destination, giving us the extra.
Okay. Yeah.
Fuel there to play around with. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I think that covers most of the things. So just confirmation.
Yep.
So we got a few threats: the low transition, radar vectors, track shortening, hot day, quite high landing weight, but fairly short taxi in, and possible runway change. We'll see. But happy with that?
Happy with that. All right. Briefing complete.
All right. So we'll do the descent checklist.
Okay, so we'll put the main deck flow on high, and descent checklist.
Okay, descent checks, recall is checked, notes checked, auto brake 3. Landing data.
Okay, landed at a VREF 30-146, minimum 262. Sorry, correction, 562.
VREF 30-146, minimums 562. Main deck flow high. And briefings
completed.
Descent checklist complete.
Checked.
Etihad 901, hello, identified, clear to Akini.
Clear direct to Akini, Etihad 901.
Made the request for station arrangement. Hello,
7360, identified. 901, it's Rhine radar 132.730. Bye-bye.
132.730, thank you. Etihad 901. Ryan, good afternoon, Etihad 901, flight level 320.
Hello, Etihad 901, Rhine radar identified. Proceed direct to Golmo.
Direct to Golmo, Etihad 901.
Direct to Golmo with the beams, confirmed.
Confirmed.
Executes.
Etihad 901, proceed direct to BMAX.
Direct position, GMAX, Etihad 901.
GMAX with the beams.
Check.
Rhine radar Singapore 51, good morning.
So in
Sierra 11.
Sierra 11, yes. Yep. Okay, so the final turn will be a right turn.
Check.
Etihad 901, descent flight level 240, 1,500 feet per minute, dog rating.
Descend flight level 240, 1,500 or greater, Etihad 901.
Flight level
Etihad 901, speed 300 knots or greater.
300 or greater, Etihad 901 will come.
I'll just increase to 300.
Yep.
300.
300 checked.
Execute.
Executes. Thrust, VNAV speed, 240 set, 300 knots.
Check.
Let's see what that gives us in VS first and then adjust it as we need.
We are ready for further descent.
Grand 6 Papa, descent flight level 320.
Descending flight level 320, Corendon 6 Papa. Mentioning good afternoon, Commander 122, now climbing flight level 190 and ready for shortcut if possible.
Commander 122, mention radar identified and low climb flight level 250.
Continue climb 250, someone 122.
Victor Scott, Lufthansa 06, Yankee, boarding level 300.
Lufthansa 06 Yankee, mention radar identified, service by GMAX.
GMAX 06 Yankee, danke.
Etihad 901, descent level 220 at assigned rate.
Descend level 220, assigned rate, Etihad 901.
220 set.
Papa, descent level 240 at 1500 feet per minute exactly. Etihad 901, increase rate 2000 or greater.
Increase 2000 or greater, Etihad 901.
Okay, vertical speed minus 2000.
Check.
Etihad 901, descent flight level 110.
Descent flight level 110, Etihad 901.
Okay, we're gonna VNAV 11,000 set.
110 set.
Thrust, VNAV speed.
Check.
Corendon 6 Papa, descent flight level 110.
Corendon 6 Papa, descending flight level 110.
The 300 knots, was that a descent requirement, not for...
I'll check.
Etihad 901, do you still require 300 knots?
Appreciated, would be 290 knots or more.
290 or greater, Etihad 901 will go.
Hold, we'll maintain 300 knots then.
Notch. Okay.
Tango Scott, Lufthansa 06 Yankee, passing level 250, descending 220.
Oops.
Lufthansa 06 Yankee, und Sach identified.
Idle VNAV path.
Check.
Yankee Whiskey, connect München 129er 525.
Hold.
129er 525, Delta Yankee Whiskey.
Luxor 5483, connect Munich 133.615.
133.615, Luxor 5483, bye-bye.
Yankee, direct Spesa, then Strasbourg 2 Bravo.
Go 06 Yankee, direct Spesa, and then Strasbourg 2 Bravo.
Etihad 901, connect arrival 125.355.
125.355, Etihad 901. Arrival Etihad 901, passing 137, descending 110, speed 3009. Beta information that we have QNH 1016.
Etihad 901, turn right, heading 330.
Right, heading 330, Etihad 901.
Okay, so here we go. Heading 330, set.
Delta Fox 621
yes, please,
intercept.
Thank you.
Okay. Execute.
Executes.
VNAV speed, heading select.
Etihad 901, descend flight level 80, expect ILS 25 left.
Descend flight level 80, ILS 25 left, Etihad 901.
Okay.
Etihad 901, speed 280.
280, Etihad 901.
280 knots. Speed, VNAV out.
Good afternoon, descending 110. Speed is
idle, VNAV speed.
Good afternoon, Corendon 6 Papa. Maintain speed 280, turn right, heading 330, expect ILS 25 left. On heading 330, expecting
looks
the
good.
ILS 25 left, and we maintain the speed 280. Corendon 6 Papa, descend flight level 70. 110, we have
10,000 above.
875, Buddha speed 250.
Lights are on.
Roger, speed 250. Corendon 6 Papa, descend flight level 70. Descending flight level 70, Corendon 6 Papa. From the 499, connect tower 11878. 11878 to the 499, Twitter,
Okay, we got India Foxtrot Sierra Whiskey identified.
Confirmed.
Etihad 901, descend level 70.
Descend flight level 70, Etihad 901.
Okay, level 70 sets.
Checked. As soon as we're level, I'll ask if we can reduce speed.
That'll be great, thanks.
Rated 1, descend 4000, 1016, speed to 80 or more, LS Yankee on the 255.
Checked.
Rated 1, descend 4000, QNH 1016, 280 or more, and speed ILS Yankee 255.
230 knots or something would be really good.
Corendon 6 Papa, can we reduce 250 now? Yeah, if you have to, yes. Okay, maintain as well, no problem. Maintaining flight level, maintaining 280 now. Thank you, calling back shortly. Yep. From the 875, expect ILS Yankee 25 right. ILS Yankee 25 right, level 875.
Speed VNAV out.
Etihad 901, can we reduce our speed now?
Yeah, if you have to, yes, for my sequence to 80 is better.
Okay, coming back 250, Etihad 901.
I'll try and turn left heading 315.
Left heading 315, Etihad 901.
Heading 315, speed 250 knots.
250 set.
Corendon 6 Papa, reduce speed 250.
Speed 250, Corendon 6 Papa.
From the 875, turn left heading 180, descendable 80.
875, left heading 180, descent 80.
Etihad 901, descend flight level 60.
Descend flight level 60, Etihad 901.
Flight level change
Corendon 6 Papa, descend 4000, QNH 1016.
Descending 4000 on 1016, Corendon 6 Papa.
Check.
From the 881, speed 250 or greater.
From the 881, 250 or more.
From the 875, descend level 70.
To go.
Check.
875, down level 70.
Want to come back 240, I'll tell
Yep,
Stella. 230, up to you.
Yep, 230 would be great.
You can set it.
Etihad 901, turn left heading 280, intercept the localizer runway 25 left.
Left heading 280, intercept localizer 25 left, and reducing to 230, Etihad 901.
Negative, maintain 250 or 25 miles out.
Okay, 250, Etihad 901.
Corendon 6 Papa, turn left heading 300.
Okay, speed out.
And localizer armed.
Etihad 901, descend 4000, QNH 1016.
Descent altitude 4000, 1016, Etihad 901.
From the 875, reduce to
4,000 sets.
From the 881, speed 200
Okay,
or
so
greater.
QNH 1016.
1016 set, passing
Well, have a good
6,000,
look at
descending 4,000.
everyone. 25,
Approach checklist.
110, uniform.
Bridge checklist.
06, thank you, good heading 315, high speed.
1016 sets.
1016 set, cost checked. Approach checks complete.
Checked.
06, thank you, descend 70. For the ILS 25 left.
220 or greater, cleared ILS 25 left, Etihad 901.
Okay, 230 knots, and we're cleared for the approach.
AFA.
Correct sensing.
Okay.
Localizer glide slope is armed.
Approach armed.
Flaps 1, please.
Speed check, flaps 1.
875, might take you slightly across, I call you for that time.
Hotel 875.
Corendon 6 Papa, reduce speed 220.
Speed 220, Corendon 6 Papa.
From the 881, speed 170 or more to 5 miles, connect tower 1365, ciao.
From the 881, 170 more to 5
You
miles.
wanted to 20 knots or greater, so we can move to
From the 875, turn right 220 for the localizer 25 right, Yankee.
localize captured.
Lufthansa 75 right heading 220, follow localizer runway 25 right, Yankee.
Corendon 6 Papa, turn left heading 280, clear the LS 25 left.
See the traffic ahead, 5
Heading
miles.
280, okay, for the LS 25 left, Corendon 6 Papa.
Frankfurt arrival, Schönen Tag, Tuesday 119er. Descending 110 out of 130. Schönen Tag, Tuesday 119er, turn right heading 320, present speed, expect ILS 25 left.
Right turn heading 320 with present speed 280, 25 left, copied, 2Z 119.
Tuesday 119, descend level 70.
Descending level 70, 2Z 119.
Etihad 901, speed 170 knots until 5 miles final.
170 till 5 miles, Etihad 901.
Flaps 5, please.
From the 875, descend 5000, 1016, clear the LS Yankee, runway 25 right.
From the 875, 5000, QNH 1016, clear the LS Yankee 25 right.
Speed halts.
Check.
Corendon 6 Papa, established on the localizer 25 left.
170 till.
Corendon 6 Papa, watch out, reduce speed 200.
170 till 5, okay, check.
Speed 200.
Let's go with
Etihad
flaps
901,
15.
connect tower 118, decimal 78 today.
Speed check, flaps 15. Glide slope alive.
Checked.
Hello, Corendon 48 Yankee Whiskey with information, Victor descending 110.
Hello, Corendon 48 Yankee Whiskey. Etihad 901, connect tower 118, decimal 780 today.
118, 780, Etihad 901, good day. So hello Etihad 901, 12 miles, ILS 25 left.
Etihad 901, roger, wind 250 degrees 7 knots, 25 left,
Could land runway 25 left and vacate left Etihad 901.
Glide slope captured, Mr. Approach altitude set.
Approach altitude 5,000 checked. Okay, clear to land.
Checked.
Runway 25 standard cleared for takeoff.
Tower, Cronin 6 Papa, good afternoon, we're established on the localizer 25 left.
Cronin 6 Papa, roger.
Get down flaps 20.
Get down.
2,500.
Flaps 20.
Frankfurt Tower, einen schönen guten Tag, Condor 2074 on Lima to hold short
Flaps
Lima
30.
1.
Condor 2074, taxi Lima 1, report ready.
Good check, flaps 30.
Taxi Lima 1 will report ready, Condor 2074.
I'll seat check crew.
And landing checklist.
Landing checklist complete.
Checklist complete.
Clear to land.
Check.
Ahead.
Roll out. Land 3, roll out their arms.
Check.
478, radar 10155, check.
478, check.
So 499, April 11955, check.
11955.
Uh, 3.2 miles from touchdown.
On profile.
Check.
Approaching 25 left.
Check.
Okay, disconnecting.
Check.
Flight director.
500.
Stable.
Checked.
Approaching minimums. Minimums.
Continue.
Check.
$100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Speed brakes up. The rest is green.
Landing brakes.
Check.
Ready.
Condor 2454, roger. Taxi Lima 3.
Lima 3, Condor 2454.
That's 60 knots. Thank you.
You have control.
Tower Lufthansa 06 Yankee, 25 left, all runway inside.
So 06 Yankee, roger. Call you back. 901, left turn Romeo, hold short Sierra 11.
Listen, Romeo, hold short Sierra 11, Etihad 901.
And Tower Condor 2074 Lima 1 ready for departure.
Condor 2074, line up 25
Okay,
center.
next left.
Line up 25 center, Condor 2074.
Etihad 901, apron on 11955.
11955, Etihad 901, g'day.
Current 6 Papa, wind 250 26 knots, 25 left, clear to land.
Clear current on 6 Papa.
Apron control, guten Tag, Etihad 901.
Hello, Etihad 901, taxi Victor 324 via Sierra 11.
Sierra 11, Victor 324, Etihad 901.
Okay, so we're on Romeo. Victor 324 is what we were given, wasn't it? Yeah. Sierra 11. Okay. Happy with the taxi.
Approaching 25 left.
Sierra 11, Etihad 901.
Okay, next left.
Checked. That's 955, Etihad 901.
So turning left.
Checked. Open control, guten Tag, Etihad 901. Victor 324, Etihad 901.
Okay, so we're on Romeo. Victor 324 is what we were given, isn't it?
That's right, that's what we were given.
Sierra 11. Okay. Happy with the taxi.
After landing checklist, main deck flow is normal, reduce the engine taxi in. Okay, we've got time, we may consider it. After landing checklist is complete. 2 minutes now. So, right fuel control switch confirmed. Cut off.
Second right.
Second right. Engine shutdown right. AP is running. Be parking just to the right of the Air China.
Okay. 324. Okay, that concludes the flight, the outbound sector anyway. 6 hours 13, we made up a little bit of time en route. Fairly straightforward arrival into Frankfurt. A little bit of weather around, quite busy as normal. But yeah, off to the hotel for a little bit of rest, and Frankfurt, Abu Dhabi sector, 24 hours from now, really, this time tomorrow, isn't it? So we'll see you again tomorrow.
It is. All right. We'll see you tomorrow.